Welcome back to Jimmy's Toys and Games. Today I want to talk a little bit about Lunistice, a recent 3D platformer that was released on the Nintendo Switch eShop on November the 10th, 2022. I completed the first run through the game, and we'll talk more about what that means in a moment. And I really enjoyed it. I think it was fun. It's definitely a retro-inspired 3D platformer, sort of that 32-bit era, Sega Saturn, PlayStation 1, something like that. It reminds me in some ways, in some bits and pieces of it, of some old Mario stuff, a little bit of old Sonic stuff, maybe even a Spyro or a Crash, like just little bits and pieces of that kind of era of games. And so if you're interested in those kind of retro style games, I would say check this out. In the game, you play as a Tanuki named Hana. There's 7 levels, 7 dreams to go through. There's a few things that make this a little different from other games. It's a collectathon, and there aren't really a lot of enemies overall. You collect cranes, and that affects what your ranking you get at the end of the level. The enemies in the level, there's a few that will like chase you and attack you. For the most part, they're just kind of there, and they get in your way. You can attack them and kill them to get them out of your way. It's like many of the old Sonic levels or the old Mario levels. You get to the end of the level, you reach the goal, and that's just it. There's nothing to do other than get to that goal. This is a very affordable game. It's $4.99 here in the US. I think it's worth that price. And if it goes any cheaper, absolutely worth the price. I played through the first 7 dreams, which have 2 levels each. I think it took me a little over 3 hours or so, and I died a lot on some of those levels. So if you're really good at this game, you could probably complete that sooner. Once you get to the end, there's an unlockable level that I haven't unlocked yet. But once I got to the end of that 14th stage, it opened up 2 other additional characters that you could play through the game with, and those have different play styles. So the one character can't attack and dies with 1 hit, so that makes those enemies a little more challenging. The other character has like a triple jump, but they're not like huge jumps, they're smaller jumps, but they have a triple jump, but they can still attack. And so it's just a slightly different version of what was happening, and also the things you collect change. When you're the little yellow bird, you're collecting stars. When you're the bigger bird, it actually looks like you're collecting Christmas ornaments. I don't know what they're supposed to be, but that's what it looks like to me. I think it has a good replayability because of the rankings you get on each level, and then having the additional characters that you can unlock, and then have the addition, and then you can go back and try to get the better rankings with those additional characters. And so if you would like to, you could probably easily spend 8 to 10 hours in this $5 game, or much more than that if you really like it, and just go back to it occasionally just to play through. And so overall, I would suggest if you're interested in retro-styled 32-bit era, like late 90s video games, this is a great one to check out. I'd highly recommend it. Also, if you'd like to hear some other thoughts about other recent video game releases, you might want to look at this video right up here.